Hard Eye's director swore this scene was cut, but we found it. What does it reveal about the ending? You won't believe your eyes. The movie opens in a park where a couple is celebrating Valentine's Day. The young man proposes, and the girl happily says yes. Meanwhile, a cameraman they had hired is taking photos, but when he claims the photos didn't turn out well, he asks them to recreate the moment. Just as they begin again, a masked killer suddenly appears, stabbing a knife through the camera lens and into the cameraman's eye, killing him instantly. Using the cameraman's phone, the killer calls the couple. Thinking it's just the photographer, the girl picks up, only to hear the man's last recording. She turns around, horrified, as an arrow strikes her fiancé in the head, killing him on the spot. The girl screams and runs, trying to escape the killer. She hides behind a car, but the silence only builds the suspense. Suddenly, the killer resumes his attack. She flees into a winery nearby and begs the guard for help. The killer soon arrives and stabs the guard in the face before turning his attention to her again. She hides in a wine processing machine, but the killer activates it. As the rotating gears close in, she's torn apart inside, and her blood pours out like wine. The killer leaves behind a heart made of flowers and a real human heart, his signature symbol. He's known as the Hard Eyes Killer because of the heart-shaped holes in his mask. The media soon spreads the news that the Hard Eyes Killer has returned, striking again on Valentine's Day and targeting couples. He's been active for 2 years and only kills on that day. Panic spreads, and authorities advise people not to celebrate or go out. Meanwhile, we're introduced to Ally, a talented jewelry designer who is still single and heartbroken over her past relationship. She's tasked with creating a love-themed advertisement, but due to her emotional turmoil, she creates a dark ad where the couple breaks up and the man dies. Her boss is furious and brings in a successful freelancer, Jay, to help. Initially threatened by him, Ally soon discovers that Jay is kind and wants to collaborate. Investigation into the killer continues. Police find a ring at the crime scene engraved with JS, suspecting it belongs to the murderer. Jay and Ally begin working together, and he invites her to a Valentine-themed dinner for creative inspiration. Ally is hesitant, but agrees. Security at the venue is tight due to the killer's threat. While Ally is being checked, a metal straw is discovered in her bag, something she always carries because she dislikes paper straws. She meets Jay, clarifying that they're just colleagues. As they talk over drinks, Jay senses her heartbreak, but Ally becomes defensive and accuses him of judging her. After a brief fight, she apologizes outside, and he agrees to continue helping her with the ad. Suddenly, Ally sees her ex with his new partner and impulsively hugs Jay to make him jealous. Jay plays along, but unbeknownst to them, the Hard Eyes Killer witnesses the hug and marks them as his next targets. Later, Jay walks Ally home, and when she realizes she's lost her keys, Jay tries to help but injures his hand. Inside, Ally treats his wound and reveals she was once a medical student. But when she goes to retrieve something from a cupboard, the killer emerges and attacks. Jay fights back but is overpowered. Ally saves him, and they lock the killer in a room. However, he stabs through the door with a knife, forcing them to flee outside. They try to escape in a taxi, but the killer kills the driver. Ally tries to reason with him, saying they're not a real couple, but the killer ignores her. Jay tries to call the police, but the killer smashes his phone. They run, but the killer catches Ally. Jay fights back but is knocked unconscious. Ally escapes and hides in a carousel, but the killer finds her, speeds up the ride, and throws her off. She narrowly escapes, and just as he is about to kill her, the police arrive. However, in a shocking twist, Jay is arrested, suspected of being the killer. Ally insists Jay is innocent, but the police present evidence, the killer's ring with Jay's initials and his suspicious travel history. Jay explains he's a freelancer, which explains his movements, but no one believes him. Ally is devastated. At the station, a friendly officer named David offers her coffee and flirts, but she declines. She later tells a female officer that she and Jay pretended to be a couple, which likely made them targets. Suddenly, the lights go out. The killer infiltrates the station and kills a police officer. Ally narrowly escapes. The female officer screams for help, and the detective rushes in, only to be gruesomely killed by the killer. Jay, still handcuffed, narrowly escapes death. Ally returns and frees Jay. They run to a couple's parking area where a movie is playing, but the killer arrives and begins slaughtering everyone. People mistake him for a fan in costume, until the killing spree begins. Jay and Ally hide in a van, where a drunk couple refuses to stay quiet. The killer brutally kills them both, then goes on a rampage. Ally tells Jay they must stop this madness. They retrieve a sword from one of the victims, but when Jay fights the killer, he loses. The killer nearly kills him, but Ally attacks from behind, cracking his skull. Still, the killer grabs her. Jay then stabs him in the back with his knife, finally killing him. They unmask him, but the mystery of his identity remains. The police praise them for stopping the killer. A female officer offers Jay a ride, flirting with him, which makes Ally jealous. Jay leaves with her for the airport, while Ally realizes she has fallen in love. She calls a friend, who encourages her to go confess before Jay's flight. Ally rushes to the airport, but receives a call from the real Hard Eyes killer. He reveals Jay is captive, and Ally must come alone. When she arrives, she discovers the horrifying truth. The killer is David, the flirty officer, and his wife is the female officer who offered Jay a ride. They are both psychopaths who enjoy murdering couples. The previous killer was just a fan of theirs. They explain every attack. David's wife was the one in the cupboard, and David was behind the attack at the station. The ring found had her initials, JS. They now give Ally a choice. Shoot herself to save Jay, or shoot Jay and be free. Ally seemingly chooses Jay, apologizes, and shoots him, but it was all a trick. The bullet only grazes Jay and then hits David's wife. Jay and Ally run, but are caught again. In the final fight, Jay stabs David with an arrow through his eye, while Ally kills the wife by impaling her on a wall statue. David, barely alive, crawls toward them, but Jay finishes him with a crossbow. A year later, the love-themed ad that Ally and Jay created becomes a massive success. Ally decides to leave her job and return to medicine. In the final scene, she proposes to Jay, and he happily accepts, bringing their blood-soaked love story to a heartfelt end. The deleted scene reveals that the original Hard Eyes killer, the one everyone believed was dead, had trained David and his wife, grooming them to carry on his twisted legacy. In this cut moment, the killer is seen watching Jay and Ally from a distance, even after the final fight, suggesting he may still be alive. This changes everything we thought we knew about the ending, hinting that the real mastermind behind the murders might still be out there, and the horror isn't truly over. Still confused about the ending? Don't worry, even the actors were. Let's argue about it below, and hit subscribe for more chaos. Our next movie recap is a total disaster.